Are you listening?
Woo! Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, we got a nice roster today.
Yeah, we do.
Hold on a second. On stage. What's going on? Move that back up there. There. Well, you can stay in the middle of it. Like I try to keep the image looking like even and OCD'd or something.
Yeah.
Looks
But
good.
yeah. Oh man, we got a nice roster of people today for this topic. Woo-wee. If you know what the topic is, it's gonna be a fun topic. I got a monologue that's gonna be pretty chilling.
Cool.
But I'm so happy that we have Hillbilly, Ella, Mugenful, Tabal,
Yep.
and Captain Waffles in the house. Oh, and by the way, I really loved that rendition of the intro you made, Tabal.
Oh,
Yeah, that turned out better than I was thinking, even in my head.
awesome. Well, I'm having fun doing those. So anytime or anybody wants help with those, I'll be sure to help.
Oh yeah. Say hello to people in chat. Good morning, Michael Superbacker. Whoa, super fast tortoise. That's right. Oh yeah, man, what a full house. Yep, we got James Willis.
James.
Willis.
James
Whoa, the man. Don't let him shake that cane at you. Or you might disappear or have some random stranger sleeping on your couch.
Actually, you more like Gandalf. You shall not pass.
Yeah.
Right, right. Oh, I want to officially welcome you all to Super Fast Tortoise, which is proudly sponsored by CarnsUtopia.com. At CarnsUtopia.com, you can find sweet Magic the Gathering dice bags like this Super Fast Tortoise dice bag for $45 plus $5 ship. Or for $75, you can get a specially lined vinyl dice bag. Sorry, Hillbilly, I didn't realize it's going to be covered by all this because I know you want to drop your bag. But yeah, look at all that. That's pretty cool. You get some sweet lapel pins. You can get customized paintings for being awesome and hanging on the wall, showing your nerdiness. Look at even this little cutesy D20 painting of D20 sunflowers or daisies. I don't know what kind of flowers those are. I'm not a botanist. All right. But if you want to get a sweet lapel pin, they're like $5 to $8 a piece. Go check out those paintings. They vary on price and range. And those dice bags are sweet, like that one. In fact, Twiddler won this dice bag in our fundraiser auction. And you can find all these at CarnsUtopia.com.
CarnsUtopia.com.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Billy's dice bag. That's right. You can get that dice bag at that cool website, CarnsUtopia.com. And if you have any questions or queries, get a hold of Dark on the website and ask about any customization options on anything in the shop. Well, we got a full house registered today. Man, how are you doing today, Billy?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah. Looks like Ella's shopping for magic cards. How are you doing, Ella?
Yes, indeed.
I'm doing pretty good. I got pub stumped on a casual game. Somebody brought cedh, which happens and actually kind of works on our topic. And I think I've played this deck, my one CMC, enough that I can actually do some upgrades. So printer went burr this morning.
Look, Ella's doing arts and crafts. Magic the Gathering arts and crafts, indeed. How you doing, Mugenful?
Oh, I'm doing good, other than still trying to recover, but I'm still doing better than I was.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad you feel like you're on the other side of things there. Woo-wee. How you doing?
Doing good. Still high from that auction. That was pretty exciting. I asked myself, what would Tybalt do? And I decided it would be buy everything so nobody could get anything. But then there's people like Captain Waffles out there that was outbidding me, so, oh well. Had a good time. It was really great.
So my plan is to get everything packaged and mailed off by Monday or on Monday. And if not, we'll probably have to push it till Tuesday. For those who are wondering, I'm working on it. If I need any information, I'll reach you on Discord if I don't have it already. All right. How are you doing, Captain Waffles?
I'm doing good. I mean, I wouldn't have bought everything if the Bolt wouldn't have taken that Ragavan from me.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I mean, I had fun beating up on Hillbilly this morning.
Oh, nice.
But no, I've got some stuff to do, but I got time to kill before I start working.
Oh yeah. James Willis says, thank you for participating in the auction.
That was awesome. I'd had fun. That was not something that I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Because mostly I don't trust folks. So, I felt like I know Superfast, I know Hillbilly, I know these guys here. So I was excited to participate, and I'm anxious for the next one.
Ooh, you say next one, dude. That was a tough thing to put together. Thanks to sponsors like James Willis and Hillbilly for helping out with the product to auction off. Oh yeah. That was a community effort, a lot of love put into that, and 5 hours. Ooh-wee. I didn't realize
the end
5
of it.
hours. What?
I know. I missed the end of it. I had to go to game night.
How can you trust a face like Superfast Tortoise?
Well, you were there, so I felt safe.
Hey, Superfast. Last night I was on what's it called, the round table with this dude that kind of looked like you but had somebody else's name.
Oh, that old TCG dude.
That old TCG dude. Yeah, man. I think he stole your face. I think you might want to go contact that guy.
Right, you gotta contact that guy.
Be long last.
I was doing that because TCG dude's life has changed and for the better. Like he's got a job now and it's taking him away. So I kind of want to do something to say he's still here with us. Like he didn't pass away by that comment. He's got a job. He's just
He's in chat right now, actually.
Right. He says I trust people as much as a top deck when to happen. Nice. James Willis, that dude is one weird guy. Oh. Yeah, so woo, that's funny. Good start. But
so how are you doing, Tortoise? You always ask us, but we never ask you. How are you doing today, Tortoise?
Thank you for asking. I'm doing pretty good. I didn't get to change my shirt this morning. I take my shirt off, I'm going to sleep, so it's still from yesterday though. But because today was packed, had to get some stuff ready. I'm trying to get this auction stuff put together so I can start putting it together correctly, mailing it off. Well, I'm going to mail it off Monday, but I'm trying to get it all done to mail it off Monday, and if not Monday, Tuesday, because man, not only is it a trust thing that people spent money on the auction and help raise funds, I have to keep into my end of the bargain and make sure people get their stuff. Get their stuff. And since I've had previous work with eBay, I'm pretty good at it. It just takes me time. Got to make a day. I got to make a time frame where I can work on it. I plan on working on some of it today. Get people's mails, shipping labels put on it. The shipping labels, I'm going to print off myself, make it. I won't know how much shipping is going to be until I off Monday. And nicely enough, a few people chipped in for shipping on their payments. They're like, there's a little extra for shipping. I'm like, oh, I told you I was going to cover it, but I appreciate that, Yeah. So it's been good. So I've been good. I'm working myself to get the shipping together because I want to make sure it's done by Monday so people get their crap faster. Oh man. Let's see. Funny thing, you both into Magic, similar hobbies. You just we must be brothers. That's right. Feeling the love, homie. All right. Oh, that's TCG. Look how you guys are commenting. Nice. Interacting. We love interaction. But Hillbilly, back to what I was going to say. What is the first section of the day?
That would be the card of the day.
Card of the day. Combo breaker.
Woo! So
Ooh-wee.
this uncommon has got my saliva glands juicing up because this is a card that should have been printed in a Ravnica set a long time ago. It should have been rare too back in the day, but like this card fits the thing. Like anybody who's building a Ravnica cube, especially with like Scavenge in the mix, this card is off this mechanic pretty well. You want to read it, Hillbilly?
Young death balls. 2 black green.
You're squirrely.
Mutant with menace. Each creature card in your graveyard has scavenge. The scavenge cost is equal to the mana cost. Nice. And scavenge is exile a creature card from your graveyard and pay its mana cost. Put a number of 1/1 counters equal to that card's power on target creature. Scavenge only as a sorcerer. You don't get the card, but you get counters. Very nice.
Yes. It's a very good card for recycling your graveyard to enhance your board state. Scavenge was an ability I wish they would have honed in more on from Ravnica. I mean, it was a good ability, and there's some good cards with Scavenge on it. But like for limited cube builds and Commander, I think this is going to top that list. Like I'm almost surprised this card's not legendary to be a Commander, but it doesn't need to be because it's going to fit in the 99 pretty well.
Yep.
Dark Master.
Yeah, the only thing that would make this a little bit better is if it targeted any creature card in any graveyard.
Yep.
So you could exile your opponent's creatures and get those counters. But it's sticking to the scavenge ability. It's in your graveyard.
It's still good. A good card. I like it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And for 2 pictures of the day, first of all, I saw this picture. I'm like, this would be scary. Boom.
Excuse me. I remember
Right. Bear at the door, just looking in, peeking, like, hey, I'm here for the coffee. I smell something good in the air.
It's a juvenile.
It's the only way he can bear with his day.
Besides a mother,
Right.
it's very fair to see.
Yep, Bearscape. New art Bearscape. I'm sorry. I'm just catching in what everybody was saying. Letting it in, sink in. And the second picture, this one is just more, it's kind of hard to find some memes that we haven't used before.
when we start the weekend over again, it wasn't ready.
Right? It wasn't ready. Yeah, it's Friday. It's the first day of the weekend for a lot of people out there, even though some people work the weekends and have other days off. But whew, let's start the weekend over again. Let's get excited. Let's get excited because, you know, we know how Captain Waffles goes out to the dance clubs every night and drinks till he drops and goes home, relaxes, you know, just totally making a backstory here.
If my wife heard this, I'd be so screwed.
Right. Good afternoon, Dark Master. Woo woo. So, the topic of today is what makes a good MTG Commander game. And in the monologue, I focus on power level because that brings it up, but we're going to open it up to more. But I'm going to get to the monologue first. So, the monologue is what makes a good Magic the Gathering Commander game. People are always trying to figure out power levels for decks, they know, to keep games fair. And what we don't always know is what makes good power level as strong as it is. And we don't know or understand how to gauge it well, like as a community, because it seems to vary. Like for me, a level 7 deck can be gauged 2 ways. One, it can win as soon as turn 9, or it's a deck that stops a deck from winning by turn 9 and takes the lead from there. But honestly, that is just an opinion-based level of thinking. So I try to gauge my decks based on previous experiences playing with other decks, like communicating with players, get a better feel of what kind of deck and what experiences they may have had playing their deck before. Because power level is very subjective. what is a power level between a casual deck and a cedh deck, or the difference of a power level between a cedh player and a good strong casual deck. Like what's cold to a boiling pot of water and what's hot to a cold pot of water. Also, what other things can we implement and discuss to make a Commander game more fun for everyone? First step, bring food. All right. So that's the monologue I have there, because like Ella was just saying, and I'm not trying to bring Ella into this at the moment. He's snacking. But like he just played a deck against basically got pub stomped by a cedh deck in a casual game.
Turn 4 were player removal at 38 life.
Ooh. Jeez, that's insane. And that seems a little unfair and not as fun as playing a full game of Commander. Was this on Hillbilly stream?
No. It was like I'm like one, not naming names. Two, it was just in one of the Discords that I play in, and like the guy plays like he calls casual Commander cedh. This is what I equate his decks to, because between turn 4 and don't get me wrong, I drew a contamination in hand and had to play it just to slow this guy down, because you're at 50 plus life turn 4. Every creature enters the battlefield is gaining you life unless they are stop, slow down. Oh, cool. You're just gonna remove me from the game? Okay.
Ooh, rough. Like, even I have a high-powered deck that guarantees someone's losing the game, like by turn 4, between turn 4 and turn 6. But usually, the difference is usually by then, someone has an answer to my winning condition. Because it's a creature-based win. Not everybody can be Hillbilly where you play turn 1, turn 2, all this crazy stuff and win. So, but like, do you think there was a fair discussion before the game to know or assess what people are playing, Ella?
Well, like, one, it is the title of the game was Casual Commander. That is right. What it is. You know what I mean? When we bring what makes your day go off. But yeah, well, we all have the premise that it is Casual Commander. Yes, my Rats deck is a higher powered deck, but not all. How do you say this without sounding facetious? Or you don't always have to play Contamination turn 4, even if you draw it on turn 1, right? Like, that is I need to slow somebody down card. I need you to stop doing what you're doing for me. And then usually I'll just remove it, or somebody will obviously try to remove it. But like, if everybody else can't play black, I have to remove it myself. You know what I mean? So that other people can have the game. And there's the key. I will remove my own cards. Right. Once we deal with the problem, your turn 3, you're gaining life per creatures. No. It's too much. It's too much. Everybody has to have an answer. There was mine, and your response was player removal. That's way too high.
Right.
When we sit down on what's it called?
Hillbilly
Stream. Yeah.
On Hillbilly Stream, we know they're pre-cons and upgraded, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yes, I don't bring pre-cons, but I know that I'm not playing 9s and 10s. Right. Unless I open my mouth and say, hey, yo, I know you're playing pre-cons. I'm trying to work on this. Is this okay? Right?
You can make that choice also not to play optimally if you're in a group and stuff and you see that things aren't going that way. But not everybody has that empathy. Not everybody can read a room, you know. So it's kind of up to that person too. But it sounds like you just kind of got stuck with somebody that was kind of without calling them out, without even knowing who they are or whatever. Kind of a jerk, though. I mean, if that's what they were doing.
So nice. Just doesn't understand power level.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like it's just a misunderstanding of power level to me.
Time capsule. Hello.
I think for him, it's Everything is. I like to play what I play, and that's what I'm going to respond. Play what you want to play is my response to power level conversation, which then allows me to play what I want to play, which is super high powered, which is I think is the unintentional happenstance of the situation. Like that's not what he's intending to do, or he is. I don't know, but sometimes it sucks.
When you can take somebody that can be nice as they can be to you. However, they can still be a jerk and playing a deck like that against yours.
You can just name me. You can just say it's me. That's fine.
Hey, well, man, I would name you if we were playing. We've never played together, so I will gladly call
That's
you
true.
out on it. But here's the thing. You're here to defend yourself. If it was you, and I have a problem with it out, this is that moment where we can have a conversation about it.
For
Maybe
sure.
you're not here on stream, but after the game, before the game, hey, can you jump into chat before we play this next game? I'd like to have a conversation with you. That's how good players try to keep their pods. I mean, like some people are just gonna leave him to the wayside, and I know who I want to call when I want to play super high powered. So you know what I mean? He's a good guy to have in my arsenal, but not for my everyday games.
Right. So it sounds like the biggest thing that should be brought into this or taken out from that conversation is communication before a game and agreeing to terms basically on what kind of power levels to play before playing and having like that rule zero talk kind of thing is important to having a fun, better Commander game for everybody, because it's not just about winning, but it's about the experience you're about to have, and you're trying to gauge the experience you're going for. If you're going for a high-powered game, you're going to communicate, hey, I want a high-powered game. What high-powered deck do you have? If you want a casual game, it's kind of hard to gauge what a level 7 to 8 is or a level 6 to 8. And so you're trying to find out, try to discuss what kind of win, maybe discuss kind of win conditions or like I like to talk about winning by turns X amount, to kind of gauge a game. Like I have a deck that says I can remove a player from the game by turn 4, between turn 4 and turn 6, and then like I said, usually if I were to remove a player, all the other players usually have an answer to that win condition, so it just doesn't take the game by storm. So it's good to know that. So
just like yesterday, I had Ella beat, but he got saved from another streamer that was on the stream that was playing with us, Gordo, the streamer on Twitch. Anyway, he saved Ella yesterday.
Saved Ella.
Bro, so that's where the politicking comes in, which is okay, but like, so we played the same group of people, different game last night. We played a game and it got salty. So everybody was just like, it's time to murder that dude. So we all got at again, title of the thing, casual commander. Hey, everybody's salty. We're pulling out the salt. Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. Let's pull out the salt. We all pulled out our saltiest, and I pulled out on turn 1, was able to empty my hand except for my draw because I forgot that, which is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my game of play. But like I am now able to play an entire board, and then now turn 2 I can Thrumming Stone, and on my rats there's 14 rats out on turn 2. Ooh, scary.
Wow.
But that was a really god hand for that deck. And I wish I could ever I'll never, ever, ever get that hand again.
That's what I was going to say. Even when power levels are figured into it, sometimes you just get that god draw that first hand with the Soul Ring, the Arcane Signet, and then sometimes that happens. So even if you judge your power level, maybe sometimes, not saying in your particular case with the person you were talking about, but sometimes somebody's deck will just go off. It happens.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sometimes when you see it consistently, every single deck you play there is a habit and said person is habitual, that I mean, like the Rats deck can go off. We all know that, but like that was a Swamp to Soul Ring. No, Swamp to Dark Ritual for 3 Soul Ring, Altar of Blood, and something else in a rat colony. Oh, Jet Medallion in a rat colony.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like. Oh, I fucked up the. Excuse my language. I screwed up the turn order. I should have dropped the Altar of Blood, so everybody milled 2 cards in that, 3 cards in that. But I mean, I was just I was so giddy when I saw that hand. I like this is a good one, man. Look at my draw. Like I missed a key step to that thing. So like, cool. Now what gas do I have? I'm top decking from turn 2.
Right, top decking.
There's okay, yeah, I've got all the creatures, or I've got everything on the board. I've got a board state, but nothing to do with it.
Oh man, it sounds like an epic play turned into oh no, how am I going to progress?
This is good. Oh no, how it went.
That's right. Like Captain Waffles, do you play any form of Commander with your buddies or online?
So I play in person. Actually, we have a local shop where Commander is heavy, and so we even do FNMs as Commander sometimes.
Nice.
And no, we do 4-man pods, and so going into the whole casual thing, when we do the FNM, we try to keep the power level to like a 6 or a 7, just in case there's new players that show up or people that don't play in the play group. Friday Night Magic.
Oh yeah.
So
Friday night's more about casual.
Yeah, so we have a lot of the players there that play, know what everybody plays, knows the power level, standard of like, hey, if you take a precon and upgrade it, cool. But like if you're coming in with like turn 2 kills, turn 1 kills, like you need to state that before you even sit down to play. Right, because then the other players are like, okay, I'll bring out my cedh and then we'll have a battle. Like I was saying the other day on one of these, we were talking about, I have my Vindy Click as my power level deck, where I'm like, I basically shut down the game and win by milling everybody out or other means. But that deck is like, I leave that deck in my bag unless it absolutely needs to come out.
Right.
But my other decks, like Tom Bombadil, super casual, super fun. I mean, yeah, it can go off and win on turn 7 to turn 9. But I mean, for the most part, it's pretty janky and just there to... It kind of group hugs a little bit, but not really. So, I mean, it's just whatever we decide, because we all have our different elements of play. Like, there's this one guy who plays, he just loves to smash you in the face with a Multani. That's his commander. And it's like, he's just all about getting Multani up and smashing you in the face, or playing Hawkball and having 400 million merfolk out. It's like he's the Timmy. And then we've got other guys, like, there's another guy, he's more combo-y. So he likes to try to combo off, but it's not like a turn 2 combo. It's more like, hey, I'm going to do it on turn 15. So everybody has a chance to, do stuff. And then there's another guy, and if he plays every type of fog imaginable just because he wants to be that guy. So it's all about learning who you're playing with. If you have a core group that you play with, and knowing what like is acceptable is fun. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you have counter spells or this or that, and wipe board effects, like wipe the board. Yeah, I play those, but I also play the ones that have like, it can counter a spell, or it can draw me spells, or it can wipe the board, or it can bring back stuff. Like, I like to play the combination spells that can give me either or, so that I'm not just stuck to it being like a Wrath of God or just a counter spell. Like, I love playing like Supreme Will, because it's like I can counter something or I can dig through my deck. So it's just a matter of knowing who you play with, what's expected of you from the play group. And then if you play against newer people, just before you start, ask them like, hey, what kind of power level are we dealing with? Are we trying to kill each other before the game starts, or are we trying to have some fun for an hour or two?
Right.
How do you determine? Oh, sorry. How do you determine your power level? To you, what's a description of your power levels?
So there's a good diagram out on web that shows like tier 1 down to like tier 5. But like tier 1 is basically anything that can kill you like turn 0 to turn 2. And then there's like tier 2 is more like turn 4 to turn 6, and then tier 3 is, you know, turn 7 to turn 9, and then it just goes down from there. Like tier 5 is basically like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm here to have fun. I play cards, and if I win, great.
Right.
Okay, sorry, hold on. I'm gonna hold that there. Based off of what you just said, my Riz CMC 1 until last night was a tier 4 or 5, so like really low down there because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing cards, but it is very not a tier 4 or 5. It is a 6 to 8. I still haven't figured it out yet, but it won't win on turn. Well, I've gotten one win on it, but it was turn 12 or something like that. But it can go boom because it's literally one CMC or 1X. It can go boom real quick. Everything's on the board. So how would you rate that?
So typically, if you think it's a tier 3 based on what you just said, because yeah, you don't know what you're doing, but it can do that. I mean, a lot of the times, if it's a newer deck and you're just trying it out and you figure out, oh, I can win on turn 6, then you know you have to play it to get a feel for it. But if you build it and you know for sure, hey, I'm building this deck to win on turn 1, then you already know it's a tier 1. Yeah. Newer players are probably going to have a harder time figuring that out, and or newer players probably won't be killing you on turn 1 unless they've been playing Magic for 30 years and just decided to, hey, I'm going to play Commander and know what I'm doing. There's a lot of gray area with that. I understand that question that you have, but I feel like for the most part, experienced players will definitely know their tier level, regardless if they've played Commander or not. I would say newer players that have played in the last 5 years or just started playing in the last 5 years, they're probably more along the lines of, oh, I didn't realize I had a tier 3 or tier 2. I was just playing to have fun.
Yeah. Just play Heartless Hitsugu and speed up the game. Right. So the way I tier decks or level decks is like when I build a deck, my main focus is setup, right? How fast can I set up? How fast can my deck pull off? How fast can I get to a win? Or how fast can I put myself in a position to win? And so the faster that setup is, and that's why I say like by like a level 7 deck wins by turn 9 in my eyes. So that's why it's a opinion biased kind of rating there. It's because like sometimes it takes you like 5 turns to set up and you start pulling off your win. Where like a higher powered deck, like a level 8, will set up and start winning by turn 4, turn 5, and level 9 and 10 start pulling off around the same time, or a little earlier. So it's very hard to gauge because it's very subjective. Because like I build my decks to set up and pull off as soon as possible, varying on the level of how fast they do it, and that's how I gauge it. Because to me, when because the setup phase is kind of a convoluted thing to say, setting up, like you're setting up your board, but you're not, but you also have to contribute how many removal spells you're running, right? How many removal spells you're running, how many counter spells you're running, how much protection you're running to keep that setup going on and staying strong, because that's your point of the deck, is to kind of set up to go off. And sometimes, you have a higher powered deck that sets up really quick, and you got your protection in your hand, like say you're running Force of Will as a protection card to counter a spell, to remove a card. Maybe that's part of your strategy. And certain cards in a game, like say Tagrid, Lord of Sol, is one of those games that really just push a power level higher, because it's one of those decks that people build around to lock someone out of the game and steal their junk. So much goes into the setup phase. And like I said, this is my thoughts and opinions that based on how fast you can pull off to that winning spot is what determines like a power level for a fun game. Like when I usually play a game with new people, I'm like, okay, how fast can your deck win by turn what? And I gauge my decks around that because I want to know what I'm against, and because if they like say they win by turn 4 or turn 5, right? Maybe I have a deck that's a slower rating, but I know has enough removal to slow them down so I can catch up.
So that was going to be my question, and my question actually to everybody is, what's the most useful way somebody can answer you when you ask them about what they're playing?
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about, you ask people what turn they can win by. So I'm kind of asking everybody, what do you want to hear? What information do you want the other players to give you to make an informed decision?
For me, a lot of the times it's just knowing what commander they're playing, because a lot of details for someone like me who's played a while. If I see a certain commander, I'm 99% sure what their win condition is just based off their commander, because there's a lot of commanders out there that, this commander is crucial for comboing off, or this commander is crucial for creating a massive board state that's undealable, or this commander is literally just there for the colors and then they're going to do this. So I know for me personally, when I start, I look over and see, okay, what are you playing? What are you playing? What are you playing? Okay. And that gives me an idea also if I need to mulligan my hand, because I'm like, oh, they're going to go off turn 3 and I need something to deal with it. But then that's the competitive side of me who's played tons of competitive Magic. Just knowing your opponent's deck is crucial to knowing how to beat them as well. So
that's a good point too, and what you said there as far as aggressive mulliganing. I'm not that you said aggressive mulliganing, but I'm thinking that, and I'm thinking that's something that I need to do, is take into consideration what they're playing and what I need to mulligan to get, not just get 2 or 3 lands in hand, but how am I going to respond? But what about you, Ella? What do you want to hear from other people to?
So the big thing for me, because I'm still classifying myself as a new player. Is I don't have that knowledge that you do or you guys do with, what is Yavimaya Cradle of Growth? It takes me a second to either recall the card if I do know it. Sometimes I'll forget half the card, and then most of the time I just don't know. So there is no way that I can look at your deck or ask you a couple questions without being very direct with what's winning this deck. Is there infinites? And what's your gotcha? And some people are kind of jaded with that information, and I understand, because you don't want me to just save a counter spell for, I go infinite with the Staff of Domination. Okay, cool. If Staff of Domination comes out, that's the only thing I'm counterspelling. So I understand when people get jaded with that information, but for me as a new player, that's kind of the information that I need to be able to learn to figure out what he's doing in the long run, because I can only go by, a lot of people play card. You have my Cradle of Growth, Taunting Elf, Warren Run Hydra. So they don't read the card, so I'm not picking up that information. And a lot of people, I've literally said, hey, what does that do? Hey, what does that do? And I've watched somebody go, oh, for fuck's sakes. So as a new player, it's really hard. I have to ask the direct question. What does your deck do? What is its gotcha? What is your combo? I have to ask it.
And sometimes people don't want to answer some of those questions because, like, well, if I give you my winning strategy, you'll know how to stop it. That's the tough part right there. Coach says, are you playing infinite combos or multiple tutors? Well, I have one deck with one. I got 2 decks with an infinite combo. One's actually just infinite turns, and the other one just stops the game right there. Tutors, you just kind of got to assume people are running tutors in general. I don't have tutors in every one of my decks, but I do have decks with tutors in them, and people play the hell out of them. And Stasis Orb says, Tier 1 commander decks are only good in tournaments. I know it's not crazily popular for card shops to host sanctioned commander tourneys. I always feel like Commander should have stayed casual. Yeah, but then you got people who want to play Commander who have cards from tournaments and like legacy staples that are really good in Commander that they just don't get to play, because the legacy is harder to play than Commander nowadays.
I brought this up the other night when I was on DJ's stream with Anger. And I was telling him that cedh is the new vintage. It's basically legacy is a dying format. Vintage is so expensive to get into that everybody is like, okay, well, cedh is the next best thing to vintage and legacy because I don't have to pay a ton of money because I only need one copy of certain cards. And you have Power 9 band and all this other stuff. So it's a cheaper's man's vintage.
Right.
And if you're going to play that, you're going to play in a competitive environment. Because if you take that to a casual table, you will get hated out so quickly that nobody will want to play with you. So
Right.
the tournaments are fine. Like I've seen tournaments played with them, but it's literally like I think 3 really top tier decks for like I think Yawgmoth's one of them, and there's a couple others that they just absolutely destroy you like turn 1, and it's the new vintage. So I would just say that if you're not playing that style, you can play whatever you want as long as you're playing with the right group.
I've actually
Tutors are a staple in the deck. I mean,
yeah, I've actually got a chance to sit down with some cedh players, or in a pod. I was the one odd man out that was playing casual, and it actually turned out that I was able to wreck them because turn 2, I played a Hercules Recall. So everybody put their artifacts all back in their hands. So all these things that they had spewed out the first turn to, to set up for their next turn, that all went back into their hand. And like now suddenly they've got to play over and they've spent their cards to get things out. And it just kind of wrecked it. It doesn't happen often, but I was able to make the game go a little bit longer. And suddenly these guys didn't have the gas that they needed because they'd done everything that they could the first time. Now, that doesn't happen all the time, and that's not the optimal thing. But they did tell me before I sat down, we're doing cedh. Are you okay with that? And I'm like, well, okay. And I looked at my hand when I drew it, and I'm like, I think I'll be okay here.
Okay, so where's the line between casual and cedh?
That's a great question.
So one thing I know is cedh decks are pretty powerful, but are usually best 1v1. But I think the question is what takes a casual deck from a level 10 to a cedh deck?
Oh, we go all the way up to 10 for casual.
Yeah, level 10 is the most powerful you can go for casual, and then cedh starts at a level 10 in casual and goes up from there. Like, and it so like a level 1 in cedh is level 10 in casual, right?
So my brain's always put the leveling on a 1 to 10 scale, and then cedh steps on the 10 and above. So 10 to 15 is my brain. So
it makes sense. It's climatic.
Casual commander in my brain is 7 and below, and on a scale of 10, and then high powered commander is 8, 7 and up. And then cedh steps on 10 and up.
Right. It's
the way that but you just described it slightly different than I did. Right. So where is that gray line?
Yeah.
So that's the trouble. Like, because the cedh deck is more focused on winning sooner than any casual commander deck, right? So cedh takes commander, goes super high powered, and is focused on 1v1. That's how I understand it from the beginning. I don't think in cedh do you really have 4-player games. And if you do, then every deck, if you do go cedh 4-player games, it takes high-powered commander decks, like higher-powered commander decks, and evens the playing field for 4 people to win. But it becomes who wins by turn 3 first.
So I thought cedh was commander, but it's just competitive commander.
It is competitive commander, but
when did we lose 2 players in a pod?
cedh really was born when really became a thing when official tournament legal commander games were put in, like sanctioned commander games, F&Ms, ranked games. You can win a game. If you win prizes. People can start getting really competitive, and that really started shaping the game for competitive Magic and Commander.
Okay.
And that's how I understand the history. If there's a completely different history, I haven't heard of it.
No, that sounds right. I didn't know we lost two. I didn't realize that the pods dropped on average to two players.
Right, because competitive commander decks are highly focused, highly sped. Like they're like every deck is to pull off a win by turn 3, turn 4, basically.
Yeah.
Like before turn 3, turn 4, you got to be playing some power stuff. You got to lock someone out of the game. Like there's a difference between a stack deck in regular commander and a competitive stack stacks. The power level is there. How fast do you shut down your opponent? How fast can you stop them from playing the game? You know, where like counterspell decks, what kind of counterspells are you running? How many free counterspells are you running? You know, it really changes. Like the difference between casual and competitive is at that 10 mark. Coach, playing Commander EDH isn't about winning. You should only win 25% of the time. Playing competitively is a totally different approach. Yep.
I agree to a degree that you should only be willing to, you should be winning about 25%. But one, you're playing a game, and this is coming from the group hug player that says I don't want to win with a certain deck. You're playing the game to win the game.
Right. You're playing for your chance to win is how I put it.
Yeah, there you go. That's a better way to say it. I like that.
James Will says, what I am finding very interesting during the stream is that I have no idea what level of any of my decks are.
So my technique to finding, so I'm all about jumping on the internet and figuring it out. So I read a couple forums, do that based off of this information. You should be able to create a power level based off of this information. You should be able to create a power level, but all of it seems to be what's the right word, bias. Like, this is my opinion on what power level should be,
right?
So I found one website that I've played a bunch of, like I've put a bunch of my decks through, and then said, hey Tortoise, give me your power 7 deck, give me your power 9 deck, and I've run that through that same website. And if it's, when I found a website that people are saying, oh, it's a 7, and it's dinging 7s, and it's dinging what I think is my deck levels, or people are agreeing that my deck levels are. I'm asking what people are. I found one website that does that, and it's at least something close to what I think is on power level. So I've just been running that website, plugging a list in there, and going based off of that, because I, as a new player, can't threat assess as well. Like, what is a Thrumming Stone to me when it just says Ripple? What the hell's Ripple? Oh, Thrumming Stone's dangerous. Oh. Okay, I let that card die in my hand probably 10 games in a row. Like, just because I didn't know what it did properly.
Right. All right.
Unfortunately, I got to bounce, guys. I'm sorry. Terribly sorry. Something came up with a order that I sent out incorrectly, so I got to take care of that right now.
Take care of it, bud.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thanks for stopping by.
Peace.
See you.
So to touch on Ella's point, power level is subjective. You know, like there's some people that would look at your deck and go, that's a tier deck. And it's like, you only think that because when, one, you're a newer player, or two, you just haven't figured out that the way to stop this is actually really easy, and it just seems really powerful. But again, it's subjective to whatever it is that you've seen versus what someone else has seen, and vice versa.
Right. Sorry, I was laughing because I was thinking of last night when I was trying to dress up like TCG dude. What is it? So yeah, it is very subjective, but the best way to gauge power levels in your meta, your play group area, is to play the games and get a feeling for everybody's decks and try to meet them at their power level.
Yep.
Playing spell table is kind of hard, but when you have a play group on spell table, you get familiar with the decks you're playing against, so you kind of know how powerful they are. So if you don't know what a power level is, just start playing to gauge what other people's power levels are in your group. You know, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But I think we touched up a lot on this, which is interesting because Hillbilly.
Yep.
What's the second segment of the day?
Deck of the day.
Deck of the day.
The deck of the day is brought to you by Red Cub Leather. High quality leather deck boxes and merchandise. Customizable options are available. The link is in the description box below.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change.
Woo! All right, here is the deck of the day. This deck of the day is interestingly kind of a high-powered little deck. It says it's a salty 48.9, and it's like almost a grand with ads. Here we go. Chainer Nightmare Adept. I was looking at this deck. Well, I actually had this deck in the back pocket for like a week or so now because we haven't really had a deck of the day. But Chainer Nightmare Adept costs 2 generic of black and reds, a legendary creature, human minion. He's a 3/2. He says you can discard a card. You may cast a creature card from your graveyard this turn. Activate only once each turn. But whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under control, if you didn't cast it from your hand, it gains haste until your next turn. Nice. This deck has some good miniature ramp as Arcane Signet, Rakdos Signet, Soul Ring, and Talisman of Dominance.
Rakdos Charm is the one that kills creatures?
Rakdos Signet? That's a mana rock.
No. The Charm. Is that the one that kills the creatures? Rakdos Charm?
No, you're thinking of it starts with a D, Dreadbore.
Okay.
Dreadbore destroys a creature or planeswalker. Archfiend of Infer is in the deck as a good creature card with cycling to help you discard cards, draw cards, but also some creature weakening. Archon Cruelty, good card for reanimation. You got Archpriest of Shadows. You got Bellfire Dragon, big game hunter, good removal, madness, love it. So the thing with madness with this deck is if you discard this to activate the ability, you both get the ability and the ability to cast its madness cost. Pretty solid. Braids Arisen Nightmare, pretty solid card. I like that art. I didn't realize that existed. Yeah. Got Coffin Queen. Ooh, that's an old school card. Got Dothy Voidwalker. Ouch. Dockside Extortionist. Atali Primal Storm. You got Gravebreaker Lamia. It lets you cast creatures from a graveyard. Grave Merchant Asphodel. Grim Hireling. Erling. Hellkite Tyrant. Humble Defector. Imperial Recruiter. Carter Doomscourge. That's a pretty beastly uncommon there. You got Kiki-Jiki Mirrorbreaker for the combo. You got Croaks of Titan of the Death Hunger. You got Mascaworm. You got Mishra Chained by Gix. And you got the let me see if it will. Yeah. Hold on a second. It's not letting me flip the card. Nope. Wanted to flip the other side, but here we go. You got Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Then you got Orcish Bowmasters, Morbid Opportunist. You got Auric Lord Mage. Oh, man, Lord. You got Plarg and Nasiri. That's pretty good, actually. You got Poxwalkers. You got Professional Facebreaker. Ragvan Nimble Pilfer. Shadow Mage Archfiend. Squee Goblin Nabob. Tiny Bones Trinket Thief. And Tree Perdition. That's an aggressive lineup right there. And that's like most of the deck.
What is the goal of this deck? Because I have no threat assessment on this.
You have no threat assessment on this? All right, so no, not that one. See this Archfiend of Cruelty right here? So cards like this you want 6, 7, 8 mana, 6/6 flying. Whenever Archfiend of Cruelty enters the battlefield or attacks, target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Discard a card and lose 3 life, and you draw a card and gain 3 life. Your goal is to reanimate big, dumb creatures like this using your commander. Surprisingly, and it's probably because this deck was made beforehand, but you got Tali Primal Storm, but I bet if they upgraded this deck to put Primal Conqueror in here for the reanimation key too. All right, so you're running cards like Animate Dead, Bitter Reunion, to help you get some more of that discard draw advantage. Black Market Connections is pretty solid there. Case of the Crimson Pulse, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Heartless Summoning, Sneak Attack, and Spyful Banditry. So we got this far, and the only thing I could say I don't like about this deck is they're only running the Kiki-Jikis for the basic combo and not for theme. Blood for the blood god, which is amazing.
Blood for the blood god.
That's right.
For the skull throne.
Hell yeah, you got Chaos Warp, Deflecting Swat, Demand Answers. I like the border on that set. Well, they upgraded this deck after Carnage, the other Tali. They should bring the other Tali in this deck. It'd be better. Entomb to search your library for a creature card to throw in the graveyard. Hostile Negotiations, Shieldred's Edict, Thrill of Possibilities. A lot of good stuff. Now, I checked through the land. It's just basic mana fixing for perfect mana. For Planeswalkers, you got Angrith the Flame Chained, which is pretty good because each opponent discards a card and loses to life, and you get the control ability, so he helps mitigate the game. If you're low on creatures, you can steal your opponents. Liliana the Veil, which is insane. You protect her, and she gets to her ultimate. You're doing a lot of damage. For sorcery, you got Artigan's Awakening. A lot of reanimation. Breach the Multiverse. Buried Alive to throw cards in the graveyard. Command the Dreadbore. Damnation. Gamble. I hate Gamble, but people love it. Card. Incarnation Technique. Reanimate. And Rise of the Dark Realms.
Cool.
Ooh, this deck is savage. Like, the only card I'd suggest putting here is an Atali Primal Conqueror, because that would wreck face. In fact, I'd replace it with Kiki-Jiki, but they got they don't have the full combo in here for Kiki-Jiki, which I find weird. But it's a pretty solid deck, pretty good. I love it. I like it. And that, my friends, has been the deck of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we lost somebody. All right. I'm pretty sure some states, pretty sure some states it may be against the law. All right. All right. That's why I have a silly question. Has anyone built a commander deck and not put a soul ring in it? Yes. My 5-color dinosaurs deck has no soul ring in it.
My Seraph deck has no soul ring in it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Hillbilly's decks all have a soul ring in it. They're all,
have soul rings in it.
Yep.
You start you're all pre-con builds, right?
Yeah.
Oh look! Oh no! Bring it back. I want to see it.
Yep.
Your big smack waffles.
Nope, not at work.
All right. So, and with that, oh man, that was pretty good. That was a pretty strong deck. I love reanimation decks. Like I said, I had that one in the back pocket for a few days or about a week or so because we haven't had a really solid deck of the day. But then, now let me get this next segment set up. See more. Yes, I like this version better. So, Hillbilly.
It is time. Now it is time for the
Movers and Shakers.
Movers and Shakers.
What?
all right.
Movers and Shakers. All right, top of movers going up in standard. We got Showdown Pass moving up 8% at 1176.
Cool.
Jetmir's Garden almost $20 at 3% increase. Ortawa Soaring City $23 plus 2%, pretty solid. Cemetery Prowler plus 8%, 768. That's pretty solid. One of the biggest movers on the list today is plus 6%, 645. You got Breach the Multiverse, just climbing up there slowly, but getting there. Top 5 cards in standard moving down. Ooh-wee. Wow, down here, got a buy box promo down to 367 in Mishra's Foundry. Then you got 606 Brotherhood's End. You got, Lorne of the Third Path at 708, down 4%. You got All Will Be One down to 1443, down 3%, but Underground Mortuary seeing a big kick in the butt, 813 and down 9% to 433. You got Raucous Theater. But for Modern, the top 5 cards going up at 22%, 32.98. You got Necro Skidder. Hell yeah. Oh, that's seeing you come back because of Massacre Girl giving you your non-creature spells with it. That's insane. Plus 52%, $13. You got Summer's Pack. Seeing a play, that's a really solid card. Surprised that it has. That's a pretty big jump too. Plus 10%, $16.89. You got City of Brass. This card will continue to increase unless it sees a reprint. Plus 9% and $15.98. Got Elish Nor and Grand Cenobite. Just been crawling up since we started following this. Just been crawling up more and more. And plus 16%, $8.33. You got Riz the Redeemed. Whoa, whoa. Hell yeah.
Oh, got that.
Yeah. Plus 10%, $9.88. Got Reflex Voice and Hunger. Nice.
Nope.
Now going down in Modern today, you got negative 4%. Got Ubor Trim Yawgmoth. It's settling in. It's still doing good. Down 3%, 63.36. Got Phenomenal School of Water's Edge. Yeah, that's 63.36. Insane. Down 7%, 17.22. You got Lavonda Keeper. But down 8%, 11.58. You got Sakashima the Imposter. This card is still good. I don't know why it's going down. Down 6%, 14.44 is this version of City Brass, the white border. Come on, go up, my friend. Down 10%, 8.14. You got Thurming Stone. 8.14. Man, this card used to be $22. It's gone down a bit. All right. And Greater Ornament down $19 from 4%. And my friends, that has been the Movers and Shakers.
All right.
All right. Man, we had a full episode today. Surprise. We actually had stuff. Okay. Coach says you can play a high-powered deck and hold back so everyone gets a chance to play some Magic. It's a game, but playing the game doesn't have to be about winning. That is very true. All right. So, as we're winding down the clock, not chill time. Any final thoughts anybody wants to share?
No.
Well,
you covered it all.
Communicate, and when all else fails, communicate.
What? Talking? What are we, a social society?
It's like it's not a social game. It's not it's a 4-on-4 game. That last segment had some good hand banging music to it, by the way. I had to get my hair get it going, but
all right. And Captain Waffles, do you have anything to add to the subject before we start closing out?
Nope. I mean, Ella sounds like he's married because he keeps saying communication.
All right. That's right. So the lesson today, everybody, is communication is key, and have a fun, fair game and bring pizza to the games. All right. So we're going to start the shill section. Boom.
All right. All right, I'm at 373 subs, still trying to get to that 400 so I can do a giveaway. And I'm going to try to do a commander game this afternoon between 2 and 3. And if anybody wants to join in on the commander game, just let me know. We'll do commander game on my spell table.
That's right. Hey,
that's all I have to feel.
I got this set up today, so I'll try to jump in on your commander game.
Coach is coming too, and he's gonna bring the pizza.
Bring pizza, Shell. All right. So Hillbilly goes live every day at 9 a.m. So check him out on his channel. Give him a subscribe.
Yep.
Then, Ella.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
You can check me out on my channel. Link is can be put in the description. I don't even remember what my clip was. New content coming up soon. Hopefully I can get back fast enough to play Hillbilly's game today. If not, you'll catch me here or on my stream. I think I have enough internet to stream while I'm here for the last little bit. But yeah, hopefully we'll see y'all soon. And pass.
I think I'm gonna start the commander game at 2:30 today.
All right, that's fine. Woo, Captain Waffles, chill.
So yeah, trying to get to 250. I got a giveaway at 250. It's Shelter of the Apocalypse, and then if we get to 500, I got some more stuff. Yada yada yada. I got new episodes of Waffled coming out. There was one that just dropped, I think, this week, and then I'm starting the Waffle Cast, which will be a waffle podcast.
Nice.
And then yeah, I got a lot of stuff coming out. I've got some arena that's going to come out. And yeah, just be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. Everybody's link is in the chat. That you want to check out their channel, go over, subscribe, hit the like buttons on their videos, and leave little comments because they help out. And for Super Fast Tortoise, I go live every morning for the morning coffee. I'm glad you guys are going to join and be awesome. Make the show what it is. You guys rock. And hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, hit that like button. If you haven't, hit that like button. And if this is in the future and we're no longer live, leave a comment. Give us your opinions of what a good power level conversation should be. I'd love to know. And until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay cozy, always listen to Lord Megatron.
Shockwave! What is your command, Megatron?
Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content for evil fun.
Fear not, Megatron. Cybertron shall remain.